Again. Hi. Hey, welcome
Hey,
everybody.
hello, Rough House Podcast coming at you. If you're watching the video version, which you can on Patreon or via patreon.com/Rough
hmm
House Podcast, Christoph coming in better, closer, nearer, warmer than he has in some time.
Crisp. I
As a
look a little light saturated. There's not a lot of dark colors going through this webcam here, but that may just be the light reflecting off the top of my freshly shorn head. So
well, hey, it's looking good. It's a nice
yeah, thank
cut.
you.
You're looking clean and crisp on the new Lappy Tappy.
Yeah, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Literally my old one it took me after we recorded our 2 hour WrestleMania recap, it took me
Yes.
another hour to edit it. I barely do any editing because I don't edit anything throughout the show. I just put it in the session and put the production on either end, and it took
Yeah.
fucking forever. So I'm like, all right,
Well,
game over, man.
it's rare where you have to. Every now and then there's a joke that's made that needs to be cut. But beyond that,
Happens from time to time.
yeah, it's rare. It's rare. But ladies and gentlemen, we are in the post WrestleMania glow feels like a strong word. So let's just say the post WrestleMania period. And I would like to say personally, thank you, WWE, for giving us all a week off.
Yeah, it's more like a recuperation period is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the rest hold of weeks of the year.
Yeah.
For the post WrestleMania, and a lot of years, they do WrestleMania on the Sunday, and then you have the Raw after Mania, which has become its own thing. And then now, over the past couple of years, SmackDown being back on Tuesdays, you've had the SmackDown after Mania, and this year. We had those shows in name, but we didn't really have the full sort of super buzzy sort of things that happened on the Raw and SmackDown after me. Yeah, we had a title change, we had a couple returns and a couple attacks and stuff like that, but it seemed like they were really, and again, like you said, thankfully, giving us a little respite before the Superstar Shakeup, which comes this week, the 15th and 16th.
Yes, indeed. A two-night stand up in Canada as we're going to find out who's going to be going to Raw and SmackDown. They're going to be shaking things up. And already there are some people that aren't going to be in the mix unless some people are coming back from injury or that sort of thing. So we've got Nia. Yeah, we've got Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Going to be out for 9 months, double knee surgery.
Tore both ACLs, or
yes.
Was it a straight tear on both, or was it just they needed some work?
I believe they both need work. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a scenario where she tore one, because like if you tear an ACL, yeah, it hurts like crazy, but you can still do your thing.
Sure.
Probably screwed up one, kept working, screwed up the other, therefore needs surgery. Kind of like what happened to Kevin Steen, or excuse me, Kevin Owens.
Wow.
I still say Steen.
That's
I still say Steen.
Bring it back.
Anyway, what happened to Kevin Owens and put him on the shelf for a while. So probably a similar scenario. We apparently have a hurt AJ Styles, although I don't know the severity of it, having a whole hip flexor issue. So
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's as bad. Maybe a couple weeks off, out of the ring. He may show up at the Superstar Shakeup. He's done a lot on SmackDown the past couple of years, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw AJ go to Raw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Daniel Bryan also out of the mix. That one has me kind of holding my breath with hoping we get more information soon. All we know is hurt at Mania, wasn't on TV Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
So who knows what that's about? Knowing his history of injuries, knowing how they had to do different tests on him after every single match.
Yeah.
Look, if he was hurt in that match of the lifetime for him. I mean, the performance against Kofi Kingston was out of this world.
It was.
But I just hope dude didn't get hurt, because at the end of the day, we want to see our D-Bry in the ring and doing what he does best.
Sure.
But in terms of Raw and SmackDown,
and Big E as well.
Sorry. Oh, yes. How soon I forget Big E going to get his knee scoped. Not as severe an injury.
Right.
Wouldn't be shocked if he's on TV most of the time.
Yeah.
But
and it was not the splits that did it.
No, it was not the splits. It was the damn spear to the floor spot, which I've been saying for years would take him out in some way, shape, or form.
I do.
It's amazing. But unless you're doing it against Rusev, which is who he was doing it against for the longest period of time, you need that meat to catch meat. Like
you need the double down. Essentially, you need the KFC double down. You need the 2 fried chicken patties with bacon and cheese and some sauce in the middle, which was a terrible great idea.
Yeah, you do that on a Cesaro, there's meat there, but it ain't the same. That's like a fine, lean chicken breast. It doesn't have all the greasy goodness that, say, a Rusev, especially then, had.
Yeah, that Rofo chicken.
Oh, man, I would
Yeah.
fuck up some Rofo chicken right now. For those out of the region, Royal Farms is a convenience store / gas station, depending on which one you go to, that has literally the best fried chicken in Maryland. That's like not even a joke.
It's akin to a Wawa or a Sheetz, but their chicken is king. It is fucking amazing. And they gave you the potato wedge fries. They're really good, and they're whatever their brand of processed cheese sauce it is. Delicioso. So yeah, anyway, I think that was it for the injuries. There was a laundry list coming out of Mania.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at. Well, I guess also Ronda breaking her hand.
Yeah, that was the other one.
But she was going to be going on hiatus anyway. And it sounds like they're already kind of spinning some wheels. I saw Sports Illustrated posted that there's already talks of doing Ronda Becky at WrestleMania 2020 in Tampa.
Okay.
I feel like it's a little early to be making any calls because, if Ronda's going away to have a kid, I don't know that she's going to want to be back in the ring so fast. So
no, maybe not. And if they try and it doesn't happen, it could happen at SummerSlam or Survivor Series. There are a number of big events, or Royal Rumble. There's a number of places where this could happen. But it's a pretty foregone conclusion that it's if Ronnie's coming back, it's going to happen at some point.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to be on a big show, and it's going to be in a prominent position because, she's a superstar, right? Whether you like her or you hate her, you like her enough or you hate her enough where she is automatically one of the biggest stars on the show.
Right.
And I can't see them going, well, you're going to be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
I don't know, Naomi. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
And you can probably bet they're going to have Charles Robinson in there as well.
Undoubtedly.
Was this fining of the referee in that main event, is that a shoot or a work?
That is a shoot because he didn't call it like a shoot.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, and he couldn't. I don't know, because I watched a lot of the replays of it, and he wasn't in. Well, I guess this is on him as well. He wasn't in the perfect position because where he was, it doesn't look like where the shoulder of Ronnie was up. He had a really good view of it, so he may, in his mind, have been doing it that way. But again, not being in position is just as a crucial faux pas as counting when his shoulder is up.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like WrestleMania week, even though it is the biggest week of the year for the WWE, was a very cranky week for one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He fined a referee on Monday, but if you peel it back a bit, he fired a writer during the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Right.
He fired
R.D. Evans.
R.D. Evans, aka
R.D. Evans.
Yeah, R.D. Evans from Ring of Honor fame.
Yeah.
Archibald Peck from Chikara fame. He's been a writer there for quite some time.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's always been really kind of a weird enigma in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And him just kind of sliding into the creative role surprised many. I remember word came out when he was originally signed, but I forgot he was still there. But he took a lot of heat from the Bret Hart speech.
Right.
Apparently he had mentioned Vince McMahon in the speech because creative writes the speeches. Surprise.
Is a whole friggin' thing. Like, I understand maybe having a little oversight and maybe, some editing, for brevity or for something like that. But that just makes the Hall of Fame ceremony so much less of a non-factor, knowing that the people giving the speeches don't write their own speeches.
Yeah. Well, then again, half the guys that they have, if they were coming up with a speech off the top of their unbelievably concussed domes, right. I don't know that. Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably why they started getting creative involved in the writing of speeches. I don't think it was always there, but I can understand why they would be there. It is a little weird that Bret Hart needs a guy to write his speech for him.
Well, I mean, Bret Hart did have a stroke and cancer.
Yeah. It's still strange, but I've heard conflicting reports. I had heard that Evans was fired for the mentioning of Vince McMahon, which if true, I'm just going to say it now. This makes Triple H an asshole. for doing his whole bit with the DX guys about not mentioning Vince and then constantly mentioning Vince. By the way, that was about a man who just got fired.
Yeah.
But the other thing I've heard, or quit. Yes, that's true. He did the "you can't fire me, I quit" scenario, which, hey, good for you, RD. I know of at least 2 companies that probably will hire you like that. The other story I had heard, which honestly sounds even more like a true Vince McMahon thing, is he was angry that Brett's speech went long. And if you think about why that speech went long, it's because Brett got jumped by a deranged person from the crowd.
Yes. Well, that's a very...
I think that's free reign for a show to go a few minutes long.
Not in Vince McMahon's twisted, ridiculous mind. That is, it's unrealistic for us to expect realistic things from Vince McMahon at this point, especially. He rules the WWE with an iron fist, and rightfully so. He's built it to what it is today. But certain things keep popping up with how he behaves backstage, whether it be stuff like this or I don't even know, but just you start to wonder how much of his grasp of sanity, and not Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf, but actual in psyche sanity he's really clinging on to here, because I worry from time to time about that.
A lot of the decisions Vince makes do not necessarily indicate a stable mind, but then again, you can even say that in his younger years. It's not like Vince being a crazy son of a bitch hasn't been a thing since the mid 1980s. If this were a newer thing, I'd be like, oh, maybe he's going crazy with Alzheimer's. No, he's just been crazy forever.
Yeah, but I guess once you get older, it's just like, okay, step back a little bit, And then conversely, I guess to go against my own point, he stood up for somebody who was getting reamed out from somebody else backstage. So you saw this story about Pat McAfee, who wore tuxedo shorts for his pre-show bits on the network, and Michael Cole apparently just dressed him down in gorilla in front of everybody, just yelling at him and stuff like that. Maybe it wasn't in gorilla; it was somewhere backstage,
right?
But then Pat goes like, "I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm a grown ass man," and he goes start packing his stuff up, and an unnamed source told him, this is bullshit. Go talk to Vince. Plead your case and see what happens. And Vince sided with Pat McAfee over Michael Cole, which again, is a shocker, because I know Michael Cole is very integral in many different facets behind the scenes there for whatever fucking reason. But I think his rationale behind it was LeBron did it.
Yes, that was literally it. Someone showed Vince a photo of LeBron James wearing tuxedo shorts, and according to the story that Pat McAfee told on his own podcast, was Vince said, "I know, I'm hip," which is just mwah.
That's like, not the words of a hip person.
That's not at all. So goddamn good. But I really like the fact that Pat McAfee is able to, in a situation like this, go, fuck it, I don't need this. I have my own thing. Like this is found money for me. I can leave here. I mean, there have been stories through the years about people like Michael Cole who become basically caught up in but it's oh god, what's the name of it? Munchausen syndrome, I think it is, where basically you become sicker and sicker because your captor has you believe that you're sick. That's what the WWE system does to so many people. And then there are those people who have outside interests who, when they just go, this is fucking dumb, I'm not dealing with this, they always react in very strange ways. We have this Pat McAfee story, one of my favorite stories from oh god, what's his name? It was the late comedian, large black guy.
Bernie Mac?
No, I am going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind here until I remember his name. He used to be on the show with Colin Quinn on.
Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal. Yes, thank you. As I'm sure the OG 538 were yelling at their podcasting devices. So Patrice O'Neal was a writer for WWE for a hot cup of coffee. He only worked
Really?
there a few weeks. Yeah. Loved professional wrestling his entire life. He was a writer for WWE.
Oh shit.
He got fed up with their bullshit very quickly. Stephanie McMahon fired him.
Okay.
He said, fuck out of here with that. I don't need you. I'm going to go sell out a theater. Peace.
Yeah.
She proceeded to call him no less than 3 different times after that to fire him again.
What?
To his presumption, it's because he didn't take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
He just said, fuck it, I'm good.
Yeah. He wasn't, destroyed over it, crying into whatever Steve Weiser he has laying around. No. He was like, all right, cool, whatever. Let me go make a shit ton of money making people laugh. Fuck you guys.
Exactly. I mean, this is how a cult operates, really. The people who stay inside are so concerned about their place and their position within it. And then those who are kind of whatever to it, those that are within it, don't understand why.
It's a Scientology situation.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy the parallels that are between Scientology and the WWE. I watched a lot of that Leah Remini show of getting out of Scientology, and it's mind blowing as to think why people are okay with sticking around for so long with this toxic environment and being taken advantage of. And you can add some of the John Oliver stuff in there too with the independent contractor bits and the health insurance and things like that. There are things that are similar for like such a major corporation business on a worldwide scale that they just do and get away with that in any other sort of business or corporation, especially a Fortune 500 company at that level, would never in a million years think they could get away with. It's such a unique situation. Pardon me.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And speaking of people who are getting sick and fed up with it, the biggest story of this week is one of the prominent members of the WWE roster, apparently done with WWE, although she has not been given her release or anything like that. Sasha Banks has turned her back on the WWE, if rumors and scuttlebutt are to be believed.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time buying into this one. There's a lot of the rumors and scuttlebutt walking around with her, and then some later ones have been involving Bayley in the same situation. The ridiculous story that somebody had to have made up of them literally yelling on the ground at the hotel of their displeasure with having to drop the titles to Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Iconics. Because they thought that they would make a joke of the titles, and then given the impression that they were going to be having a long run to really solidify the legacy, I guess, or the stature,
the prestige
of these titles. And sure, a lot of this is probably at least a little bit true, and obviously on wrestling Twitter things get blown out of proportion.
You don't say.
But Sasha did write this tweet that had some very I'm unpleased with my situation overtones to it, not very subtly either. It was pretty overt. And then she canceled an appearance on the Wendy Williams show, which apparently got her a lot of heat with the old Double W there. So yeah,
that one's really gonna hurt.
I couldn't pick Wendy Williams out of a fucking lineup. I have no idea what she looks like. I could not fucking do it.
But yeah, I mean, even her husband, as people know him, Mikaze, in WWE, one of the backstage costumers. People know him from people from people who watch Up Down Down are familiar with him.
All right.
But
spoiler alert.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I would only recommend you watch. They posted a video on Up Down Down this week of Tyler Breeze and Xavier Woods marking out like crazy to Batista's theme.
I did see a bit of that. That was great. And also I saw another GIF involving Tyler Breeze of him waiting to welcome Xavier back from Kofi's big win at WrestleMania, and they just had this really adorable embrace. I'm like, oh, Breezy, you're so great.
Oh, that's wonderful. But Mikaze also posted something about how sometimes creating art and making money are separate things. So So there's definitely some weirdness going on there. I don't know if it's a work. I don't know if it's a shoot. Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. This weird shoot, worky shoot environment.
Yeah.
I know Sasha has been kind of the type throughout her career to take things a little personally, whether she should or shouldn't. And I can't imagine having to work in Angle, or rather it ended up being Bayley who worked in Angle the following day with one of her least favorite people, non-kayfabe in Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Probably not something she liked either. Kind of, just twisting the knife there.
Lexi was piling on Twitter as well, so... And then they, Ronnie or Becky is having, some barbs being thrown at Sasha and Bayley as well. So that's what's kind of, leading me to believe that this is not entirely, what it appears to be. That I think we're being worked maybe at least a little bit here. But, who knows? A lot of people have voiced a lot of displeasure with the company. And, if they're... and by they, I mean WWE, if they're not careful, then when it comes time to re-sign, then a lot of these guys may not do it. Now, I'm not sure when Sasha's contract is up or what, but I can guarantee you, if she asks for her release, she ain't fucking getting it.
No,
she's hanging out where Neville sat for a year and a half, doing nothing, twiddling, and just, I guess, working out.
Yeah, exactly. She will also turn into a giant muscle-filled golem by the end of her being put on the sidelines by WWE.
Right.
I started to think about it. Is there a space for a Sasha Banks in, say, an AEW? And there's not saying that there isn't. Just, I don't know where she would fit in with what they're trying to do. It's been indicated that the focus from AEW with their women's division is they're trying to replicate the Japanese Joshi style, because there's a want to make that the thing that separates AEW from a WWE, much how WCW had like the cruiserweights and the luchadors. Yes, the cruisadors. There's a want
it's your own term.
I know. No, I appreciated using it. There's a want from the AEW side. Let's put a focus on Joshi. Let's put a focus on this super athletic style of wrestling. Sasha tries very hard to do that. Sasha also gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily one's going to translate to the other. I mean, people, including us on this very podcast, have said that neither Sasha nor Bayley have hit the heights, at least in terms of sort of character arcs and prominence that they did in NXT. I'm sure their paychecks have reached greater and greater heights than they did while they were in NXT. So it does turn into art versus artist, commerce versus creativity, and where you want to land on the side of those things.
Well, if there is one silver lining that could come of this, is that there's a possibility we can never have to hear Michael Cole say again that it's boss time. So I will drink to that shit.
Man, if there's anything I can get rid of. Also, I'm just gonna say the Boss and Hug connection really is a terrible fucking name. Yeah,
terrible name.
See, Rock and Sock rhymed.
Right.
Boss and Hug.
I mean, I get it's their gimmicks, but is it though?
It'd be different also if like they paired up Sasha Banks with like Nia Jax. It could be the Boss and Haas connection. That's a good fucking name. Like that works.
That I could get behind.
Boss and Hug is just like there's nothing there.
It's anyway. The shit. It's the drizzling shits, and it's funny because I listened to Jericho with his WrestleMania preview, and
he's banned from WWE, by the way. I don't know if he told you that.
Yeah, he mentioned it many times during said show.
Oh, you don't say. I figured he was trying to downplay it.
Well, and I will say this: it's given him the ability to really be critical as somebody with a great mind for the business that he is. Absolutely. So, going through that with whoever the fuck his co-host was, it was awful on that episode, but
it was me.
No, it was some British guy. You do a terrible British accent. I know that from
well. Oh, wait.
What's that? Is that Fat Albert? You doing Cosby? What are you doing?
What's your dish then? Yeah.
There you go.
Don't go way down low. You shall be filthy.
Listen, you bloody twat. All right. If you're gonna do it, get deep in there, and you got to skip a couple syllables here and there. All right,
you're going full squirrel on me. I'm waiting for you to start just popping my fingers.
That was Whiskey Allspice. That's who that was right there. Anyway, yeah, Jericho was like, yeah, Boss 'n' Hug Connection is the stupidest fucking name ever. So not that we needed validation to know that
from the guy who put together Y2AJ, by the way.
I mean, there was a J in common, so I'll give that. It's a better name than Boss 'n' Hug.
Look, you're just trying to find the sprinkle in the turd there, my friend.
Hey, man, as long as it's not brown, it'll be easy to find, right?
Anyway, in terms of what we actually saw in WWE programming this week, maybe a hint of where some things are going to go during the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
As we got a taste of as we all thought was going to happen, a Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans feud. Oh, boy.
What? I don't hate it. I'm actually kind of into it. I'm curious to see how it goes, because if Lacey kind of does this, prim, proper, I'm a lady, dignified sort of thing.
Oh, lady versus man makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
No doubt. But when you already have Becky kind of burying it by saying, what do you call her? Or what
New Charlotte.
New Charlotte. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just on brand for Becky, though.
Fair.
I'm optimistic about it to see how it goes. Their scrap on the ramp on Raw was pretty great. And Lacey Evans had a solid right hook. So I'm optimistic. I don't know if it's really where her first title defense needs to be, and I don't know if this is. I don't know how Becky's going to work. Is she going to go up on both shows and have a different feud on each show for each title? Or will she, I don't know how it's going to go. So obviously a lot of questions will be answered this week with the shakeup, but at least in terms of that,
on this show, all those answers will be questioned.
Yes, exactly. And then, so, at least in terms of that, I don't hate it. I think I hate it. I think I like it more than a lot of other people do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in love with it just because I don't think Lacey's there yet, but I understand the logic. Having someone who's very in your face, very aggressive versus someone who's very prim and proper, they're natural opposites. And, you tell me that Lacey Evans was in the oven for another 2 more months to really figure out her shit. Sure, totally fine with it. Right now, though, feels a little premature.
Well, we haven't seen her work in a while, so maybe she has been working, down at the PC in between.
That's
TV,
true. I don't think she's done anything since the
She
Rumble,
hasn't had a single wrestling, at least on TV. There could have been house shows and stuff like that, but she could have really, closed the gap in from where she was with a really rough showing at the Rumble. But she had a couple of decent showings in NXT.
She did. And I will say I haven't read any house show reports, but I now just have this mental image that at house shows, she was still doing the same walk out to the front part of the ramp, turn around and leave gimmick on house shows.
That's just a waste of money. I mean, that's a good gig for her. I'm not going to lie. You don't have to
game respect game
on the line to go out there and do your stupid little bit. But, even at a certain point when Jericho was trolling everybody with his return, he would come out and not say anything, which was great to a certain point. You're like, all right, dude, fucking do something.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where I was at Rumble. I figured she'd come out, interrupt the Battle Royal, and do something. We got fucking nothing. And then she just came out and did her little bit at the Rumble. I'm like, now I'm pissed. Now fucking do something. So maybe it's just the fact that she's doing something that's getting me a little excited to see it.
Sure.
So, if that was their intention, then they fucking got me.
Yeah, but also on these Raw and SmackDown shows, we finally had the main roster debut, fresh out of presumably some sort of mental health class. Lars Sullivan has appeared. I thought it was strange that he attacked Kurt Angle because we're definitely not getting another Kurt Angle match. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but he looked impressive. So, hey, good for him.
And then he attacked the newly won SmackDown Tag Team Champs, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
On SmackDown after they beat the Usos in a really good match.
Yeah, very, very good match.
So, yeah, Lars Sullivan making his presence felt We also on SmackDown, as we're jumping back and forth here, had some direction for another big man, Braun Strowman. As you know, we had Truth and Carmella coming out doing their funny haha bits, which is still fun. I do enjoy those two doing what they're doing. But then Joey Smoey came out and choked the life out of Mr. Killings there, which is great and perfectly on brand for Joey Smoey. But then out comes Braun. So Braun Strowman and Joey Smoey. I mean, we had a little taste of them because they had a three-way with Brock last year. But them one-on-one, I think, is a really good place to start rebuilding Braun. And, you know, unfortunately, that'll probably come at the expense of Joey Smoey and his U.S. title. But you know what? There's still a big upside to Braun Strowman, and if you know, you can't throw him right back into a title match with Rollins or Kofi or whatever. Give him some time to get some heat and some steam back, and then throw him back up there. So I think with Samoa Joe, this is a good spot for him.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, you were saying earlier, if they put AJ to Raw, that'd be a very good place for him to sort of mix it up with new people. Braun on SmackDown feels like a great switch.
Yeah.
You know, you could put him in there with guys like Kofi. You could put him in there with guys like Daniel Bryan.
Well, that's presuming these people stay on SmackDown.
Right, right. Just thinking about the idea that Braun goes over to SmackDown, like there's a new pool of talent for him to mess with, even if they swap some other people back and forth. Sami Zayn returned on Monday. Looked real good. Had a really fun match with Finn Balor. He did lose that match. A little bit of a bummer, but then he cut probably the best promo of his WWE stint.
It was solid
against all the fans, ending it with "I'll see you in hell." The greatest way to end a promo ever. Holy shit.
Co-signed. Yeah, that was pretty. It was pretty great. You know, I do. You know, I was excited when Sammy came back, as you know, with the big baby face pop, and of course that's going to happen in Brooklyn. And I was a little. I was honestly a little disappointed when I saw that he started this heel promo. But then I'm like, okay, I remember the shithead Sammy is outstanding.
Oh yeah.
So if he's gonna just crank up the shithead to 11, then I'm 100% in with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where. Again, I don't know where anybody's gonna land. I will say that for me, this is probably the least predictable superstar shakeup, because they could literally swap anyone anywhere, and I feel like the shows would be different. You know, if they swapped Kofi and Rollins, for example. You totally have a brand new everything on both sides. On both shows, there's talent that hasn't necessarily stagnated, but would be freshened up by moving from one to the other. Kevin Owens moving over to a Raw, for example, would be really, really cool to see, getting him back on the Kevin Owens show, as he used to call it.
Here's a question for you. If Rollins comes to SmackDown with the Universal Championship, do they change out the leather for blue leather then?
Perhaps. I mean, hell, that's how you sell a whole bunch more belts. So I think that's the way to do it. No, legitimately, again, tip of the hat to another podcast I listen to, Virtual Pros. What up, Virtual Pros? They had someone write into their podcast who works for WWE marketing, legitimately works for WWE marketing. You know how businesses have different mailing lists for like different types of consumers. This person bought live tickets for that, so let's send them this. This person had, but WWE being as zeroed in and laser focused as they are on different types of things, it's like, oh, these people have bought these t-shirts in the past. Here's that. There is a mailing list, which is a not inconsiderable amount of people, which is literally spent more than $2,500 on replica belts. Yeah.
At one time or cumulative?
Cumulative.
Okay.
But
still.
Yeah.
I mean, they run about what, $400 or $500 a pop?
Right, for the standard ones. And then there's like deluxe ones with like fancier leather and whatnot. They go like $8,000 to $1,000. So yeah, it is a racket and a half. That fucking Ring of Honor belt that we joked about buying at the Super Show, or the Super Card, $500 for that, not a bad deal.
Yeah, they were selling one at Access at the Superstore. It was autographed by a couple people. I didn't note who it was autographed by, but it was selling it for over $2,000.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it had a number of autographs on there, but it was I think it was the Raw Women's title that had a bunch of autographs on there, and they were selling it for over $2,000. And I don't know, didn't see anybody walk out with it, especially since that one bitch wouldn't let me go back in to buy my fucking hoodie. Twat.
Have you gone back to WWE shop online to try to buy it?
Yeah, I have. I thought about it. It's actually like 30% off right now, but I feel like it's going to get more % off, but then I run the risk of filling out in my fat ass XX size. So
I'm just gonna say it. I imagine WWE stocks the larger sizes higher.
I would imagine so, considering the amount of people, the size of the people I saw there. And then conversely, or similarly rather, at Pro Wrestling Tees, I saw the LIJ New York shirt. It's on sale there now in the size that I wanted and didn't have to buy. I bought a 3XL because I wanted that fucking shirt at the Garden.
You did. You very much did.
You followed me around to I do like that.
Yeah.
You followed, I was like, I need to find this fucking shirt. We're going back.
Oh yeah, look, I am always in support of the hunt, Chris. Once a collector, always a collector. I understand completely. Anyway, enough about us buying shit. Back to what happened on Raw, SmackDown, and the rest of the wrestling world this week. I do think Braun Joe could be super awesome. I really loved seeing the Hardys get the tag belts. Kind of a nod to all the work Matt Hardy did, because holy shit, he looks like he's in his 20s again. Yeah. I mean, there was a moment when he and Jeff came out where I thought for a second it wasn't like current footage. I thought it was throwback footage because Matt looked that good. Yeah. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Matt Hardy, props to you. You kayfabed everyone. You knew that being paired up with Bray Wyatt was going to lead to garbage. So you're like, oh, I'm retiring, guys. I'm retiring. I can't wrestle no more. I'm sorry. Oh, look at that. I'm all healthy and feeling good. And now Bray is apparently a vulture puppet. Oh, I guess I gotta go win a tag belt instead.
Oh my god.
That is a Brock Lesnar level move right there.
That is. That's some flex right there.
Big money Matt proving he's got it all day, every day.
Version 3.0 coming in 3 years in a row, winning the titles in April. Yeah. The first time the big pop coming back in Orlando with Jeff, and then last year winning them with Bray, and then this year again with Jeff. So that's 3 consecutive post-Mania weeks that he's won tag titles since his return. So good on you, Matt. I'll see you down at Raleigh Durham Airport again. So yeah, that happened, but okay.
Yeah, WWE apparently raiding the Trauma archives to get a puppet from Thanksgiving, throwing a t-shirt on it and calling it the new Bray Wyatt. What
are they calling it, the new Bray Wyatt?
I mean, I'm assuming it is. It's a buzzard wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Who the fuck else is it going to be related to? It's sure Shane. It's not Curtis Axel's brand new gimmick.
I was going to say, might it be Bo Dallas? I don't know.
I mean, it could be Bo. Maybe that's what they did with Bo. He's now the vulture handler for Bray Wyatt. I don't know.
What if like at the end of Beetlejuice, when the guy sprinkles the little head shrinker legitimately shrinks Beetlejuice's head? Maybe Fatu or one of the other head shrinkers had some powder, sprinkled it on Bo Dallas backstage.
Things went even worse during the Hall of Fame
because they pissed him off. And then that's Bo trying to cop Bray's gimmick. So then Bray has to come back to thwart his brother enemy vulture thing. I mean, look, it's pro wrestling, so I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility here, but.
I was just like, what? What is even?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like there aren't words. It's just one of the strangest things they've done for a character ever.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll pop out of the box full stop this week, and we'll see what brand he lands on.
But for as bad as that was, the dumbest wrestling decision I've seen this week goes to our dear friends at Ring of Honor. Because not only did they run a work shoot angle with Enzo and Cass, more on their fun new names in a minute. Not only did that work shoot angle fuck over a New Japan angle in progress, not only did they forget to tell New Japan, that was going to happen. And also concurrently, you know, it fucked up the entire entrance of Tanahashi, making him look like some people really didn't care about, because we're all on our phones going, what the fuck just happened? Can the internet tell me what I just saw? They don't have Enzo or Cass signed to a deal or any follow-up dates.
I don't have words. It's the stupidest fucking decision that I've heard since putting the title on Matt Taven. So, you know, it's the stupidest decision of the past week. Oh man, there's so many different shit heap layers to this story. If I'm New Japan,
it is the Vermonster of shit. You just dig into it and there's more ingredients and more grossness of just piled up. You need you and your 8 friends to actually tackle how much shit there is.
If I'm New Japan, I'm rethinking my my partnership at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, aside from the reasons you just mentioned, nobody will come out and admit it officially for either promotion, but let's be honest, anybody who watched that show or was there as we were not watching it for Ring of Honor. Okay?
I don't know. I saw one guy wearing a Madison Square Taven shirt. One guy.
That's going to be $3 on Pro Wrestling Tees in another week. And they'll never get rid of them because nobody's going to buy that shirt.
I got to think in my email about like you get a grab bag of G1 shirts, and I felt like I'd buy it. It'd be nothing but Madison Square Taven.
Every grab bag is getting a Madison Square Taven shirt. So yeah, I thought about buying one until that. I realized that same exact thing. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. But yeah, it's man. So I want to like Ring of Honor. I want to. I want them to be, you know, a solid competitor, or at least another option at a certain level to WWE.
And they've got a pay-per-view in our backyard at the end of June. They just announced it.
I know, but I
want to go to that. Yeah, I want to go to that. I want to be there. But if you're telling me the best things you've got are Matt Taven and the newly christened Enzo and Zio and Kaz XL free agency, I cannot give less of a shit.
No. I mean, those are probably the 2 worst signings of ex-WWE talent you could have come up with.
And it is Impact level poor decision making.
Oh my! It's I dare say worse. You know, because at least Impact scooped up like
Impact didn't pick them up. I think you're right. Impact went, no, we're good.
Yeah, because you know that they made some calls to somebody over there to try and get some feelers out to try and get a gig. You know, they had to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, only old Ring of Honor. You know, they didn't tell the talent. Half the talent that was out there. You know, what would you have done, Joe Koff? Looking at you, what would you have done had Tama Tonga, having just won the titles, been like, the fuck are these ass clowns doing? And he, didn't have the indifference as he actually ended up having, but wanted to murder these people.
Exactly.
You know, it could have been.
Yeah, we're lucky that Tama Tonga and Tonga Low are professionals who went, wait, we have an angle to do for our company.
Right.
So we're going to stand in the ring while Yano holds up the belt. They had to reshoot the entire fucking angle at a New Japan show this week because it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had Tonga cutting a bit of a nasty promo on Ring of Honor backstage.
I didn't hear the promo. I saw a tweet. I didn't hear a promo.
Oh yeah. No, when they did all the backstage comments, as they do post all New Japan matches, he said, fuck a Briscoes, fuck a Ring of Honor, fuck those shitty belts. Like, he literally walked in, he had one of the Ring of Honor belts, and he just threw it into the room. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Good. You know what?
Yeah.
He's definitely he's grown on me a bit.
And I'm gonna say this, within less than a month, Ring of Honor has their War of the Worlds tour. which is traditionally Ring of Honor versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. Zero New Japan talents have been announced for that tour.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not. Is there a space in New Japan booking where they could do that? Sure, but none. I'm saying right now it's going to be all CMLL guys, just so they could say it's versus the world.
But then again, like Tai Chi or like some of the
right,
you know, some of the people that nobody really want to put the money out to see.
Exactly. It's going to be Chase Owens. Chase Owens getting the main event push. But I mean, even this weekend, they were running fucking PJ Black against Caristico. Now, Caristico being brought in to the CMLL. Caristico used to get fucking ribbed all the time by PJ Black.
Yeah.
And he said it was one of the worst people he worked with in WWE. So they just go, oh, well, here's your match, Caristico. Have fun. I mean, it's a 4-way with 2 other people, but still, like, aren't you supposed to avoid that sort of shit? Is there supposed to be like lines of communication where these things get worked out?
Clearly not. I mean, I don't know if it's a language barrier, they just don't give a fuck, or what. But Ring of Honor is not looking great right now.
Now, from what I understand on the Ring of Honor side of things, and granted, this may be people leaking things to go a certain way so it looks better for them, but there's been kind of a changing in the guard in booking. Ring of Honor has been booked by Delirious for God, almost 10 years now.
Since Cornette left.
Right? Yeah, quite a long time for Delirious to have the book. So Delirious had the book for a while. Todd Sinclair has been the booker of Women of Honor, which in and of itself is kind of a clusterfuck because they only were going to bring back the beautiful people to help Madison Rayne out, and she left anyway.
Right.
But they're still doing that angle. Apparently, Bully Ray, Kevin Eck, thank you, Kevin Eck, and Joey Matthews are sort of climbing up into the spot of bookers in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
And that's where fingers are being pointed about how bad this went. Because Delirious has been working with New Japan for a really long time.
Right.
I mean, he's, for better or for worse. I know a lot of people criticized him for the number of times Ring of Honor guys went under to New Japan guys. But he knows how that works. I don't know if this is somebody saying something to the sheets to make these 3 new guys working on booking look crappy. But if this is how they want to handle that relationship, they want to fix that toot sweet.
Yeah. And do you want that many different people, in control of the book? I mean, typically, it kind of comes down to one person over the course of how these things. Sure, you want people to have input, but who's making the final decisions here?
Sure.
Committee is not always the greatest way to run things. You look at how, Nash and Hall and Hogan had the book at the end of WCW. We all saw how that went, and Ring of Honor is nowhere near the size of a WCW when that happened. So yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, I know Bully Ray has, a good mind for the business. He's been doing it a long time. He's been around for a long time. He has a lot of experience in different companies and how things go. But Kevin Eck worked at WWE for a while. He's a local guy, MCW, all that sort of stuff. And then Joey Matthews, as in, do I know? Is that Joey Mercury? Joey Matthews?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought
Joey
so.
Mercury, Joey Matthews.
All
yeah.
Right. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
mean, there are local ties here. So, I imagine word can get through the grapevine. If that's bullshit, please let us know. We don't want to continue to spread ill word if this is not the truth, but it's what's being said, and all we can report is what we're hearing. So please feel free to use us as a sounding board for opposite stories.
Any way we look at it, Ring of Honor is not in a good place right now.
And we want them to be.
I do. I want them to succeed. Yeah. Like I said, I want there to be a good group of talent down there that keeps filling up arenas, whether it's the UMBC Fieldhouse or Madison Square Garden. But, if Ring of Honor tried to book Madison Square Garden again on their own, it'd be a tough sell. They'd have to paper the shit out of that bad boy at this point. So, Enzo and Cass notwithstanding, and even in New York, New Jersey, they got, booed to high heaven. So whereas, you look at them formerly, from the WWE and the heights they reached in NXT, and back in those days, those were the highlights of the weekends, and NXT takeovers, have been, one after the other, somehow finding a way to top the one before. And this past last Friday's NXT takeover, oh come on, you knew I was doing that. This past week's NXT takeover was no exception. I even read, I think it was Cage Side Seats that said, this card on this takeover card on paper is not really doing it for me. And
that card on paper was fucking great.
Yeah, and
fuck you, random person on the internet from a random person on the internet.
And in action, it was even better than it was on paper.
That was
a phenomenal fucking show. Just, like you said, every time you think that they can't top the one before, they find a way. And it's, it's a testament to the talent that they've signed. It's a testament to the creative that they have in place down there, and the eyes and the ears and the long form storytelling that they have set in motion down there. There are emotional beats, there are physical beats, there's just the rabid crowd that was so ready for everything the weekend was going to bring them. It was a perfect storm of awesomeness was NXT TakeOver New York.
Yeah, I kicked off hot with the War Raiders against our dear buddies at Black Flips.
Yeah.
Hell of a match. I knew that match was going to be good, but that was far beyond what I anticipated. I kind of thought Black and Ricochet were gonna kind of play it a little easy because they had a Mania that weekend to debut on. No, they acted like that was Mania.
Yeah,
holy shit. The best thing I read about that match, and it holds true, is there were guys with really awesome power moves and there were guys doing crazy flips, and it was not the ones you were expecting.
Yeah, seriously. Fucking Warbeard Hansen, man. Holy shit.
Man.
Dude was on fucking fire during
strong
that match.
Weekend for the Hansen family in general. Yeah. Let's be honest. Sarah Logan is
that's Raymond Rowe.
Oh, that's Rowe. Shit, that's right. My apologies. Apologies.
The War Raider family.
Yes. The War Raider extended family. Yes. War Raider extended universe.
Yeah, but the flipsy news that those guys were able to do, and then just the ridiculousness, and the tag teams in NXT have really set a precedent of going on first and just just leveling the crowd. Man, it was an amazing match. And then right after that, you had Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle, which was fucking fantastic. And this is two guys that have only been really pro wrestling for
handful of years each.
Yeah, seriously.
Honestly, I think their professional careers might be similar in length.
Yeah.
If you look at Velveteen Dream starting at MCW and Matt Riddle starting in New York, and going to Evolve and all of that.
There we go. My internet froze up.
There we go.
I think there's a storm.
Froze up over here. Okay. And that's going to be one of those little edits you do.
Remember.
Well, if you do hear this, congratulations, listener. But just a great match between two guys who they could have main evented this show.
Yeah,
I could see them main eventing a WrestleMania one day. I did not think that Velveteen Dream was going to keep the belt by any means. I thought this was going to be Riddle's moment, but goddamn, what a win for the Dream! What a match between these guys. And again, it added to that sort of buffet of professional wrestling feel where you get a little bit of something special in each match. Yeah. This was a lot of fun character work between the two, mixing that with some great hard-hitting action.
Yeah, I mean, that one, it was like a moonsault senton that Riddle did was super fucking impressive. And yeah, the character work was off the charts, the reversals into submissions and everything was really good. And it was a smart finish too. It was, it was kind of a catch you off guard sort of thing, that kept the title on Dream. And I think that's smart. I think Dream should keep that for a little bit. And I think, I think it was already announced. I don't know if it's a 100% spoiler, but he's going to be defending that title against Buddy Murphy in coming TV taping. So the spoilers are out there if you want to read how that worked out. But yeah, Dream is really coming into his own here. And he got the big WrestleMania style entrance that looked great. And then a little show of Brospect afterwards with the fist bump there. So some great stuff there. And then you had a completely different type of match with Walter and Pete Dunne. And this was my first full Walter match that I've seen. I've seen only GIFs and clips and stuff like that. I love everything about Walter.
The big cranky German baby is so goddamn good.
I love the entrance with the clear Whitetron with his silhouette. I love that, it's just plain simple Walter. I love the classical music that he uses. I love the jacket. I love his posture. I love his face. I love his chops. Dude went to the fucking top rope more times than Velveteen Dream did, I think. Walter may be my new favorite wrestler, is what I'm saying.
And up until that amazing main event, I'm like, this is one of the best matches I've ever seen in NXT.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What could top this? What could top this? Only if I knew. But just goddamn, for Pete Dunne's reign, which has been so epic and really has set up the, as we were talking earlier about titles being set up as prestigious.
Yeah.
The NXT UK title has been set up as a prestigious title. And for him to go out in a match this strong, holy hell. And for Walter to come off this much of a monster, I mean, it was perfect. It was everything it needed to be.
It was perfect, and we got to see a different style of a Pete Dunne match. The majority of these Pete Dunne matches, he wasn't working so far from underneath. Obviously, most people work underneath with Walter because he's a fucking massive human being. But it was a different style. Pete Dunne as the underdog, and that's normally not how we saw. So we got to see him adapt to it, and you got to really see Walter let loose. And man, everything about it was fantastic. It was pretty close to perfect match as you could get.
Yeah, and then we rolled on into the women's four-way as Shayna Baszler defended against Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane. And holy fucking shit, Shayna retained the belt.
Not only that, I loved this match. I know some people were like, this was kind of the match that, didn't really seem like it was going to be the one that people really got into. But man, Shayna Baszler is really good at pro wrestling. And Bianca Belair had a breakout performance. Sane and Shirai got their shit in and, had a little tease of dissension when they broke up each other's pinfall attempts. The action was fast and furious and flying and flippy and power and everything. And, those women really went out there for the 15 minutes they had and left it all out there. And it was probably one of the best women's matches in NXT history, I'm going to say.
It's definitely up there. I mean,
top 5 probably.
Yeah, there's some of the Asuka defenses I need to go back and watch.
Yeah,
because they were so dominant, but also so good.
Yeah.
But I mean, for this grouping of women, this generation of NXT women, this feels like the first time that this group really had a major standout performance.
Yeah,
and props to all 4 women involved. And now the big question mark for me is who's gonna take out Shayna? I don't know. I literally don't know.
Here's my idea. I don't think anybody does. So I think Shayna comes up in the Superstar Shakeup as NXT champion, and then she's forced to relinquish the title, and they do some sort of tournament, maybe coming down the line. That could happen. I didn't read all the taping spoilers for the NXT, so I'm not 100% what route they're taking with that. Aside from one thing and one person that's pretty much assuredly gonna come up with this Superstar shakeup. So
possibly is half of a tag team that Paige is hinting towards.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yar.
So. said from the air. So yeah, I think bringing Baszler up is a smart move. One, because she's going to fill the hole left by Ronnie. Yes, exactly. And I think that she's way better all around than Rousey is. She has more experience on the wrestling side of things than she does as well. She's really, I'm a Baszler mark, in case you haven't realized this. I'm
hey,
all
man,
in.
I'm with you.
She's fantastic.
I think she's really goddamn good. And for coming into professional wrestling late.
Yeah.
And B, for only being in professional wrestling, 3 years now? Again, much like a Riddle or a Velveteen Dream. There really is this crop of like super rookies in the WWE right now who just keep blowing us away. And Shayna deserves to be spoken in that same breath. But for as great as that was, that main event was not the chapter to end the story that they intended to write.
Right.
But holy fucking shit, on every level was that a great way to close a chapter of NXT and start a new one, as Johnny Gargano went against Adam Cole.
Okay.
2 out of 3 falls, NXT title on line. First ever WWE 5.5-star match, according to Uncle Dave. I'm not a big star guy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that was definitely 5.5, or no, that was 5.25.
Right.
It was a damn good match. One of the best matches in NXT history. One of the best matches Johnny Gargano's ever had.
Sure.
And
he's superhuman at this point. Like, I know he comic book themed ring gears, but Jesus Christ, the amount of stuff that he went through in that match and still persevered was just, he's not human. It's out of control.
And it was such a perfect hybrid of old school traditional professional wrestling, face versus heel, mixed up with the high impact, high octane intensity of modern day professional wrestling. Storylines mixed with strong style. I mean, not that they were doing strong style spots, but that's just that crazy fun, hyper spot heavy style of wrestling.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to basically make a new version of professional wrestling by melding those two in that match, like, it was so good. And then to have the nice little cherry on top of having the Ciampa moment right at the end of the show.
Yeah, so it kind of did wrap up the story.
Right,
even without having Ciampa in the match. Uncle Dave called it, essentially a PWG pay-per-view on WWE TV, but I don't agree. It's more of what you said. It's more like NWA PWG, NWAG or something like that. It's a hybrid of those things, because I never watched a ton of PWG, but from what I tell, there weren't really that many really in-depth stories that happened.
Right,
it was, you went out there.
It's a super card of the stars.
Yeah, and everybody got their shit in and looked amazing, did all the flips-a-doos, and beer pitchers were spilled all over the place, and it was a great rowdy fun. But with NXT and the way Trips is doing it is that you have these stories, being told. Each of those matches had their own story, or multiple stories within one, and they all came to a crux at the perfect point. And it ended up being a fantastic show. Even Gargano just fighting off all 4 guys of the Undisputed Era at the end, and finding his time to just get it done and make the move and make it happen. It was a fantastic fairy tale ending, if I dare say, to this Johnny Gargano story that they've been telling in NXT. And now everybody, they're on the same page. Candice is back. Johnny's, super face happy, and Ciampa is full on baby face again at this point, just coming out.
Holy shit. Did you see
hugging them?
Did you see the videos they posted online of Ciampa before his surgery?
No, I saw
oh my God. Oh man. So, the standard WWE documentary crew who always films surgeries and that sort of thing, they did a whole a piece on Tommaso Ciampa, not just the past year he's had, but his time in NXT and everything up to the surgery. There's a whole bit that they go into that, obviously wouldn't know about, talking about how when he got his opportunity in NXT, it was right after he and his wife had bought a house in Minnesota, I believe. So he moved down to Orlando to live with Candice and Johnny.
Right.
And his wife stayed in Minnesota. And literally, like, around the time he got signed and won the tag belts, she was finally going to be moving down. She had just found out she was pregnant. and she lost the baby.
Oh God.
And basically all the struggles they had with that, and apparently they had to do in vitro and all of that, basically crescended with them having the kid right around the same time that he was becoming like a main eventer in NXT and became champion. So he has this beautiful baby girl that he and his wife like. It is the most babyface story. If you can watch that video and not get choked up, you're a stronger man than I. But like, I know how much of a son of a bitch he's played over the past year, but in real life, that dude is the biggest baby face in the world. Holy fucking shit. Like,
wow.
I came away with just like so much respect for who that guy is and everything he's gone through to make his, make everything come together for him. And then when you combine that with that really great moment at the end of TakeOver, it's more than just, okay, here's a great way to cap off the story. This is 3 people who have been through it together.
Yeah.
And it was incredible to take in. But oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's what she said.
Yes. But as one story ends, another one also ends. I figured this would be the appropriate way to wrap up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day for us here at the Rough House, as earlier this week, as you might have seen on our social media, we shared the news. Road Dogg is no longer the head writer of SmackDown. He's apparently staying in WWE in some sort of way, shape, or form, but we have no other recourse when it comes to yelling about the shitty booking of SmackDown. I don't know who to blame anymore. I don't know who's at fault. So,
well, if all else fails, fuck Doc Hendrix.
I'm right there with you. And I'd like to say one last time from your friends at the Rough House, me, Marty, my dear friend Christoph, fuck you, Road Dogg. I hope you fucking die.
Oh, I don't know if I want him to die. Look, the man, by God, that man's got a family. I just want him to not have creative input on certain things in the pro res. Man, you really jumped the gun there. Good Lord, man. Did I put you on a fucking list or something? What is happening? What am I going to do with the gun rack?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I want Brad Armstrong to fucking die. Wrong Armstrong. I'm sorry. That's wrong Armstrong. That's wrong Armstrong. My apologies. Road Dogg, you're okay. You go have fun. Grab a nickel. Have a moon pie. It'll be all right.
Moon pie. What a world.